Hello and welcome back to Morgan's lazy Sunday afternoon so-called productivity stream. As always, I have the one, the only Doc Coleman with me.
Hello, folks. How's your Mother's Day?
I should call my mother after the stream.
You should. Yeah. Oh, um, sorry if
How's
I'm a
yours?
little bit tired today, but had writers group right before this,
Mhm.
and finally got finally got my injured shoulder dealt with last Friday. I got in to see the ortho, and he said, "Yep, strained ligament. Let me give you a cortisone shot." Um, and was doing pretty well, except this morning we decided to move the motorcycle, and I think I may have overdone it a bit. So I'm
Oh
still
dear.
trying to get my second win back. But
Just motorcycle cop, motorcycle cop, motorcycle cop. So, so how's your writing going?
my writing has not been going as well as it should have been. I've managed to get in a few extra sessions to plug away on revisions, but
Mhm.
I'm not doing it every day like I should. So
What is this should? Who is dictating your schedule?
me, I need to get this book published this summer. So
Yeah.
I need to have it in my greedy little hands for a book signing in September, and I think the people running the store would really like to have the copies in their store before the end of August. So I'm running
Ooh,
out of time to slack.
you kind of are,
Yeah.
because I'm counting backwards. In order to have it by the end of August, it needs to be off to the printers by the beginning of August, which means you need to have the draft copy to yourself by the beginning of July, which means you need to.
Yep. And I still need to just line up an editor, run it through past an editor, and then deal with the editor's comments. So
Yeah.
I'm running
So
out of time.
you got to get that done by the end of May, I think is where we're at.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like if I can get it to an editor and get rewrites in June, get preliminary cover design, and then finalize it in July, I should be good. Yes, folks, this is what publishing schedules are like. Isn't it fun?
Right? So I've been told that you shouldn't publish your if you're self-publishing, you should have at least two ready to go out the gate.
I didn't do that. So
You didn't do that.
no.
I went to your launch party and I believe it was 5 years ago. Did
Yes,
COVID? Okay.
yes, it will be 5 years ago this Memorial Day. Um, but yeah, the book is 5 years old. At least now that I'm trying to get the second one out, I've already got the first draft of the third one. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
I'm in a better shape. But
Yeah. And you know where you're going to go next, so you can set in a couple little tidbits that'll pay off later.
oh yeah, I've already
Wait.
I've already I've been doing things like that. I've actually been setting in hooks to go with short stories I've already written, some of which have been published and some of which are waiting um, for the person that bought them to publish them. So
Oh dear. Is their publishing schedule not quite what you'd hoped it would be?
um, I will be honest that they were impacted by the whole pandemic thing.
I get that. I totally get that.
But oh. So yes, that's where I am. I'm going to be working on revisions today. Um,
Okay.
although I heard that you passed a recent landmark with your writing. Yeah, look at that.
So, yeah. NaNoWriMo, my theory has panned out by setting a higher goal for myself. I got momentum and made it through.
Mhm.
You were on stream, weren't you, last Sunday when I finished? We went an hour
I guess
late.
you were. But
Yeah,
I figured you'd want to crow about it again.
I did want to change a couple things, but I got them done. And my alpha reader, i.e., my identical twin, has this month off from work, or not work, from school, because she's getting her master's in library science, and she finishes up in December. But she's got this 1 month off before she goes in for the long haul. I don't think she got more than a week off from here until then. And if she does, her daughter's on spring or on summer vacation, so it doesn't count.
But she's like you, right? She'll just plow through the book in a day. She doesn't need a whole month, right?
I hope probably a week. It might take her a week. So we'll see.
So she'll read it once through the first day, and the second day she'll go through and make some comments.
I don't know if she got so excited about the story that she forgot to take notes and just read through.
That's a valuable form of feedback in and of itself, right?
Right. That would be amazing. I doubt, but it could happen. Let me pop over to the comments and say hi, people.
Okay.
Hello, Andy. And we have a Jessie. Hello. Are you new to my stream? Have you been here before and it's just been a while? I love new people. I love returning people. I don't have a live stream because I hate people. So hello and welcome. I see Jessie is working on rewriting their first draft. They wrote over 20 different beginnings and can't decide which they like best. Is this a common problem? My friend Sako, who very often joins us for this stream, says she writes her first chapter after she finishes the book. She likes to take the ending and use it to inform the beginning by having not quite a circular plot, but like have all the things that have everything come full circle.
I know that I have definitely been one for just picking a place and starting writing the story, and then once I get it done, I go back and I say, no, I don't need to start it here. I need to start it here, and just slice off words off the front of the story.
Exactly. Yeah. Patrick in the comments agrees. He says rewriting first chapters are super, super common because you don't know which facts matter most, how to expose them without going, as you know, Bob. Yeah, a lot of the stuff you write in that first draft is for you. So you can figure out the characters and the world and the story. And once you do, you can pair out what the reader doesn't need or doesn't need to have explicitly explained to them. You can sprinkle it in.
The first draft is also where you figure out what's important and what isn't. So
yeah. Even for planners, things can change.
Surprise.
So Patrick says he likes to just pick a point and keep going for it.
Yep. But I usually find that those early sections that I end up cutting, I needed to write them so I could get in the right headspace to write the rest of the book. So part of the process.
Yeah. One of the things I always do before starting a story, before like kicking off NaNoWriMo, is I have an opening sentence in my head with the voice of the story, just to set the tone and the point of view and all of that, just so I can get in the right mindset for the story. Because sometimes picking a voice and a setting is, such a stopping block. So,
the best way to, if you're having problems picking a voice, the best just to try writing out the same scene from several different voices. So,
yeah. But I just like to have an opening sentence just to give me a voice to start from, because once I have that in my head, I'm usually relatively consistent with my voice. Although I need to check on that with the current one that's off to my alpha reader, because I tried a more lyrical style that's not necessarily my natural writing voice. So Patrick says the only way to know what happens in your story is to write. You can't edit what you haven't written. And Andy says, yep, then you get to rewrite the first chapter and all the other chapters from the ground up. Oh, hello. We have Hello Nightmares. Me, Rudy, the horror dinosaur, has swung by. Hello, horror dinosaur. Please don't eat us. Catechist says hi, by the way. I was almost late for the stream because he was napping on my lap and not like curled up, but like, oh, is that your knee? I'm going to use it as a headrest as I lounge trustingly on my kitty mama.
Mhm.
And then he yawned and stretched and fell off my lap. And then he's like, I meant to do that.
Yep. The cat yawned and stretched and failed a dex check, and boom.
Yeah. I was surprised he hadn't been sliding down my leg because I was on a recliner. And I was like, that seems a little precarious. And then he proved it. Oh. So, yeah, this month I think I'm just hopefully getting ahead with some blog stuff and apparently catching up on Doctor Who, the last season that dropped back in October.
Yeah, I've not managed to catch any of the specials that came out since then.
Yeah. No, I missed the last season because it kicked
Yeah.
off just before NaNoWriMo. And you know what my December and January were like.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there, but they also had a New Year's special, and I think they just
But I
had
can't
another
get to
special.
those until I watch the
Yeah,
previous season.
you got to watch them in order. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I didn't get the New Year's special, and I didn't get the other special because it's just the way things have gone.
Yeah. Patrick would like to say that Catechus's balance went from precarious to post-carious when he fell. I finally got to try out a card game I got back in 2019 yesterday. It's called Punderdome.
Punderdome. The epic battle of puns.
Yep. They give you a category and a situation, and then you have to come up with a pun. But I think maybe we should have shuffled them because we ended up with the Beatles and singing as a pair.
Well, I'm sure you got a little help from your friends.
Oh, I did. It's true. So yeah, it was super cute. It was super fun. Yeah. I don't know anything else. Should we sprint?
I think we should sprint. I think we've pretty much established that that at least I need work.
Hey, it's not like I don't have stuff to do. This month is going to be hopefully getting ahead a little on the blog stuff and prepping for Balticon because the end of my month is going to be a little tight, a little busy.
So actually, so we're going to be doing a stream from Balticon.
We are.
Are we on the official schedule?
I think so. We haven't discussed it, and I think we might be getting on the schedule.
Okay, because I got my draft schedule and I did a quick look through.
Yeah, this isn't on it, but I don't know that the digital content creation stuff is on the schedule yet.
Not like I've got a lot going on Sunday anyway, but I just want to make sure that I don't have to make a choice between two panels. So
yeah,
I only have 7 panels, and it's like I need more panels.
I only have 2, so I
yeah,
assume
you're doing other stuff all through the con and all through the year.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who likes to hit the con and do all the panels. So
me too. From the flip side,
yeah.
Where is my timer? I can't. It's not on the list of Chrome. Oh, it's not a Chrome tab.
Dun dun dun.
I opened it with my other browser.
Oops.
That's why I couldn't find it. Womp womp. So, anywho, let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back. How did your sprint go?
Didn't get quite as far as I wanted to. Somebody reminded me that I had not described Manquoba and the riggers at the beginning of the book. And it's like, oh, I have to put something in here. It's like, okay, that's going to be a little bit difficult. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's always kind of difficult when you've got characters which are very iconic in your mind, and then you have to re-describe them in different words for a new book because the people may not have read the previous one.
Yeah, that's not something I struggle too much with, but yeah. So remember how I said I was going to call my mom after the stream?
She called?
My sister and her husband and their baby voice or Facebook group chatted my mother and I.
Okay.
So I disappeared for a while, and then I ate a row of cookies out of the bags.
Hold on a second. I've got someone at the door.
Sure. Because they had chocolate chips and I wanted cookies. So let's see. Let's pop over to the comments and let's see. Andy heard Catechus say hi. And we have an Emmy North. Hello and welcome. Are you joining us for some productivity or just looking for some company to hang out with? I love people coming and hanging out. But yeah, everybody, let me know how your sprint went. I hope it went well. Oh, hello. We have a Greg. Hello, Greg, and welcome. How is your Sunday going? Let's see. Andy got some revisions done on his flash fiction and added about 200 new words. Nicely done. Nicely done. I was not very productive. So I am excited. So, Emmy finished their illustrated experiment project and started drawing things for the possible sequel. Ooh, schmancy. Do you need to go? Do you have a guest, Doc?
My wife has just returned from the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, and she is somewhat tired and needed help getting stuff in through the door.
I'm assuming she's also going to want a hot shower.
I don't think she's got the energy for that right now.
Okay. So let's see. Greg's popped in while you were away for a moment. He's back his back is sore due to wrestling muddy dogs into the shower. I can only imagine how muddy they got. It's been raining for days, and it's really hard to not take the dogs out because they're dogs,
and they've got to go out sometime.
Catechus got out yesterday and was on the back side of the yard under a bush. So I got my galoshes and my hoodie, and I tromped out after him. And I had 4 small children at my house yesterday, and we couldn't send them out to run in the rain. So they ran around the house. And small children have high-pitched voices.
That does sound painful.
I was super excited, though, that 2 sets of parents brought 2 kids, and they were close enough in age we could throw them at each other. So
the slingshot's in the backyard right now.
Right? So
I regretted not being able to come down yesterday, but having heard that there were small children running around, I feel kind of like it was the good decision to make. So.
I get that. So Greg says he's been to Maryland Sheep and Wool. So have I. I took my mom in 2016.
Yep.
We had better weather. It was muddy, but it was clear skies.
Yeah. The plan was to go yesterday, and then the rain came in.
And then the rains came. There will come soft rains. What?
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry, sci-fi short story. Name dropping in there. So Jesse also got a call from their mom, and some organizing done in their rewrite. I'm glad I'm not the only one who got mom calls during that sprint. Oh, the puppy was digging in the flower beds. Flower beds that needed planting, and puppy was being helpful? Probably not.
No.
So, well, it sounds like everybody had a exciting sprint. Yeah. Patrick says soft rain is a nuclear thing. I had to read it in high school. Yeah. I was familiar. I was just dropping some, bad literary references into my stream because clearly that's why you are all here.
Okay.
For me to drop the literary reference. And then see if it goes whoosh.
That one seems slightly too obscure for me. So
how did you I think it was Bradbury.
Was it? Okay.
It's mentioned in the song that is too crude for me to mention on this stream.
Well, that should make it easier for me to pick to search out and find. But it's like I read a fair amount of Bradbury, but it was mostly stuff that I discovered for myself.
Oh, okay.
We never looked at Bradbury in school, so.
Really? You didn't even do Fahrenheit 451?
No.
I had a cooler school than you did.
Apparently.
We also read Ursula Vernon, Wizard of Earthsea in middle school.
Mm-hmm. We didn't do that. No, I basically had a school board that was not into sci-fi at all. So no, we were reading Canterbury Tales and stuff like that.
That was senior year because that's British literature.
Yeah.
So let's see. Greg says, I have now given up hope that flowers will grow. I've planted grass to keep the mud level down, but the grass hasn't sprouted yet.
But,
and Andy said it's part of the Martian Chronicles.
Okay.
So it's one of the short stories in that collection from 1950. I think that Doc readjusted your camera was a little earlier, but it looks fine now. So I think he got it sorted.
Yep.
So yeah, I read a fair amount of Bradbury in high school, some for school and some because it was on my mom's shelves. As one does.
Her mom's a librarian, so.
Who met my stepdad at Balticon.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's got one foot into the geekdom pretty firmly. So, did you want to do another sprint? Where are we?
Yeah, I think we're good for another sprint.
Sure. And or short chat with your wife off of microphone.
I think she's going to drink some muscle relaxant and read her book on her Kindle. So
Legit. You know what I'm doing after this stream? Finishing the season of Doctor Who. Because it's a short one, but it's they're all interconnected one story.
Yeah.
So
it's
definitely set up for binging. Even more so than regular TV.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm resetting the timer and let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And we're back. Is my alarm audio on?
I heard it that time.
Okay. I know I'm not always the best.
I didn't hear it the previous time, but I'm not sure whether that was on your end or not. So,
Gotcha. So, how was your editing?
it was kind of interesting. Went a little bit deeper into the section and realized that I had some stuff in a different order, and it's like moving one section up further and then trying to make everything flow is a little bit difficult.
Yeah. I followed your advice for splitting my chapters last week, but because I'm doing a round robin with my three narrators,
right?
Occasionally that made maybe a point of view jump ahead of the next point of view character in the timeline, so it got a little wiggly. But I think I got it sorted out, and my alpha reader should hopefully tell me if I'm time hopping too badly.
Okay. It's either that or you've got to kind of take something where you've cliffhanged on one point of view and then tell the resolution of it from another point of view.
Yeah. So, did you sign up as a moderator for Balticon?
I would have to go back and double check the panels that I'm on to see if they've actually.
Oh, no. I'm just saying I got an email that said you volunteered to be an all-purpose moderator. Did you want to step up for any of these? And one of them was about writing cliffhangers.
Oh, actually, I think
if you've already done 7 panels, you might be stretched a little thin.
It's 513. Yeah. It looks like I got the same email. Okay.
So if there's any panels you think you missed, you were the first person I thought of when I saw that one.
I do know that I am on a panel about being a good moderator.
Very nice.
Well, I mean, I've got some general rules on how to be a good.
I think I'm on that with you.
Good moderator. So
yeah, I think my 2 are good moderating and the guided tour of Balticon. So, which as my role as social media publicity person makes sense for me to run that. So yeah. I got half of my weekly roundup done. I started to go through my emails to see all the notifications from Amazon from past guests who had books coming out this week.
Right.
And got distracted with that email from Balticon about moderators. So both, I believe, are useful uses of my time. So
just not necessarily during your live stream. No.
Yeah. Emmy says they think their next story will be with mermaids, and there's a picture on their Instagram right now. What's your handle? I don't know. I follow more than one Emmy on Instagram, so I want to make sure I'm looking at the right handle. And Andy got another 300 words in because he is solid. Oh my goodness. Is it a novel or a short story this time? I lost track. I'm sorry, Andy.
I don't think we got a lot from the chat as to what they're working on.
So. Andy mentioned earlier, and I think Emmy as well.
No, I mean we had some people mention, but I don't think everyone else did. But
he got some revisions on his flash fiction earlier and added 200 words, and Emmy just had finished up earlier their illustrated experiment project and is starting to draw things for a possible sequel.
Yeah. So. See, you're putting 300 words in your flash fiction. It's like you've got too many words. You've got to cut some.
It might not be flash fiction anymore. What's the like 700 word thing? Isn't it like a nibble or something?
I think you're thinking of a drabble, which is
probably
140 words long. But flash fiction is typically 1,500 or less.
Yeah.
So
he still has space. So where's the chart? Oh well. Okay. So Jesse got a couple pages written and is sort of a overwriter, but I always need to go over my writing to give it more quality. Me too.
Yep.
I overwrite. I have too many words, but they're all about what's going on in the character's head because I don't care what color their shirt is. And Emmy let us know. Emmy
It's Emmy
_North
North.
is the handle for the Facebook,
Just for
or sorry, Instagram Mermaids Inspo. And Andy is pushing that flash fiction word count limit.
Yeah.
So Emmy's gotten into the early chapters. It's always a fun place. Wait, there's very few places in the story that aren't.
It's usually the second sixth that's bad, because it's like you're past introducing everybody, now you're getting into the stuff and everything is tough. Yeah, and then you hit halfway and it's like, I'm past halfway.
Emmy gave me credit for remembering. I just scrolled up. I remembered it was something. So, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Oh, okay.
You just pulled it up?
I did. It's true. Wait, am I not logged in? Why does clicking the heart not do anything? Let's try hitting follow and then clicking the heart. What? There we go. Okay. So.
I don't know. I don't Instagram. So.
Yeah, that's fine. If, visual social media isn't your jam, then it's not your jam.
I just don't have a ton of pictures to throw up all the time. So.
I'm sorry. I think the real question is, what is your jam? Is it grape, blackberry, strawberry, gooseberry? Are you one of those apple butter guys?
Marmalade.
Oh, we've had this discussion before where I talked about my Paddington Bear trauma.
Yeah. I'm good with most flavors of jams and jellies, but I have a soft spot in my heart for marmalade. It's about right here.
Not like
That's how it gets there.
One of the people at my house yesterday brought Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Oh, cool.
And then I got to show off my finished dragon project.
Oh.
Did you need to see it?
I saw the pictures that you posted on Facebook. It looks pretty good. But if you want to show the rest of the class,
I'll be ready.
You can do that. Because it's your stream and you can do what you want to. Provided it won't get you in trouble with Facebook or Twitch.
Okay, I'm back.
Almost. Not quite, but you're approaching. Hold it a little bit farther away so we can get the full effect. There we go. That turned out really nice.
Nom, nom. Oh, hey, Justin Case swung by. Hello and welcome. Justin is busy turning old fiction into EPUBs and getting all the money. And Emmy said I didn't have to follow.
It's not a contractual obligation, but you're welcome to.
I'll let you have another look. I followed a pattern, okay? Like, I'm not an original artist when it comes to woodwork, but you see the leopard wood?
Mm-hmm.
And then the spalted maple and the bones and horns and stuff are birch. So. And I was worried about putting screws into the back of it, so I followed a friend's advice and glued some
blocks onto it so that you can hang it.
Yeah, because wood glue is good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, easier to. So okay, sorry, I had to show off because I'm super proud of it. I'm so excited, and I'm gonna pet it now. I'm petting it.
Catechus will get jealous. Huh? No.
He might. It's true. So, Jesse said it was adorable. Thank you. And Emmy thinks it's impressive. Yay. I'm so excited with how it turned out. I've never done anything like this before. So it was my first attempt, and I followed all the directions. And I'm going to show it off at the art show at the end of the month, which gave me a deadline, which was clutch, which is apparently my new word, clutch.
And that's so appropriate for dragons, right?
It is. Okay. Sorry, very excited. Emmy said we'll want to share all of it. Had so much love poured in. We'll let it sit, but really lured to start a Patreon, just able to share and maybe add tier for an in-depth process. I get that. I totally get that. So yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. Prepping for people to come over to my house and finishing my dragon project. I was scared, but I finally stopped adding polyurethane and sanding it and glued it up. It's missing one detail. It needs in the center of the eye. But I'm going to get a piece of metal, the right size, to go in the ebony eye.
Okay.
So
I was wondering if you were going to put like a small faceted gem or something.
Yeah, that's what everybody says, a gem. But no, it's very small. It's going to be closer to a nail.
I was going to say, all right, I'll be honest. It would be a glass bead, but
it'd have to be a very small seed bead. But it looks from afar that the eye is shadow, but it's an ebony wood in there. So yeah.
Ah, okay.
Justin says, Splendid Dragon, St. George the Dragon Slayer is probably more important. Is the more important of authors' patron saints. And cheers for challenges. Emmy's illustration project was also a challenge for themselves. And they did it in 3 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
That's I can't even imagine. So did we want to do another sprint and get some stuff done?
Yeah, we've got time for another one.
Okay.
Thing is, that's before 6.
It is indeed before 6. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. And I'm going to grab something to drink.
I hadn't even noticed we were up to 25 minutes.
And we're back. How was your sprint?
Helps if I turn the microphone back on. Yes. I think that went a bit better. I'm starting to get things sorted out a little, and now moving my characters on into dinner. Somewhat of a bit of a more familiar structure after the chaos that they've dealt with before.
I mean,
What
sorry.
must keep up appearances after all?
How do your characters cope with lack of chaos?
Not very well. They seek out more chaos, but
I would imagine they would. So I got my weekly roundup up, and then I realized that somebody I had scheduled for May was apparently supposed to go May of last year. So I just sent off an email to see if they still want me to publish their interview.
Oops.
I don't know how I missed this. Like I was just like, wait, what? 2021, but it's so
Oops.
Yeah, I feel really bad about that. And I figured out how I'm going to go forward with my author spotlight templates, because I've been just copying the previous one and then updating all the text to keep the formatting similar and the responses in the same tone. But you know what works better? A template, because then you don't accidentally link the previous guest's stuff.
Oops.
Because sometimes when you click and you replace the link text, it takes 2 out of every 3 times, and I don't always catch that third time.
Yeah. So
and
sometimes it'll change the text, but it won't change the link. So
I went through and I have all the stuff with no links. So
cool.
So yeah, hopefully going forward there will be fewer oopsies.
Always helps.
So yeah, and I'd really like to get ahead on author spotlights, because I'm 6 months backlogged, and I'd like to just do like a week or 2 of author spotlights and get like 2 months up, you know?
I was going to say, is there anything else that you're currently doing that you'd like to take a vacation on over the summer, and you can just put an extra author spotlight there?
I mean, I totally could, but I definitely just would like to have a quarterly backlog rather than half a year.
Yeah,
it's a little extreme at this point. So, but
definitely.
Partially because I was working with a small pub, and I did not realize the small publisher was also a marketer for authors. And so they're sending all the people coming to them to marketing being like, hey, this person does author spotlights, which is totally legit,
right?
Because I do. If they found me independently, I wouldn't have had the problem. But I got like 12 requests the first week of January. And, some weeks I get 2 or 3 requests and I only do 1 a week.
Yeah.
So my backlog is growing, and I need to, but I only do spotlights once. So once all their people have come through me once, they can keep marketing them, but they're not going to get another author spotlight. They can be in my weekly roundup of new stuff from previous guests.
Right.
So, I mean, I do like to give shout outs to people, friends who have new books coming out.
Yes. New books this summer.
so yeah. I saw there was a lot of comments while we were.
I was noticing it kind of trickling by on the side.
So Emmy said that their illustrative project was a mad race. Justin said, wow, it takes me like a year. Were you happy with the results? Emmy said, yeah, it's like a scrapbook. It's about 46 pages in 3 weeks and only 7K words, but contains the story well. And they spend a lot of time correcting both the images and the words. It's quite experimental, as I only know few and mostly indie stories that are closer to scrapbook. So not sure if it's worthwhile to query. I can't tell you that. Emmy is not a professional illustrator or not trying to be one, but it suited that type of story as it didn't need to be very impressive illustrations for a child-style scrapbook.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Justin, it's so odd how different we can work. I can write a full-length novel in a month, but illustration is a slow process for me, and that's Justin's main education. Justin once had a friend who did 56 illustrations over a weekend, and the publisher loved them all. Whoa.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That is some serious productivity there.
Right? Emmy said at this point there might be over 50 illustrations, to be honest. They have different levels of complexity. Emmy generally just wanted to write a cute story. I get that. Hello, Maya. I saw you swung by. Justin said, the incredible growing book project.
Dun, dun, dun.
Emmy said, at this point, I have a whole Sprite universe, as before this Sprite scrapbook, I had done middle grade about sprites, a bit older age, and it had puzzles in it. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Emmy really wanted someone professional to illustrate it, but then realized that dream won't come. And I should attempt doing illustrations. So Emmy started with this challenge.
Yeah, if you've got the talent to do your own illustrations, go ahead and try. Even if you end up talking with a publisher that suggests getting someone else to do the final illustrations, your drawings will
guide them.
Will provide the structure there.
Yeah. Justin was curious if by Sprite if Emmy meant like the Sprite comics that had the copy paste sort of stickers. And Emmy's like, no, sprites like pixies and ghosts. So Andy got total, not the sprint.
Yes, Andy, that's the whole story.
Andy finished his flash fiction, 1,379 words, and a little room for revision. Hello, Blake, and welcome. Blake said they were semi-productive, roughing out some functionalities. Justin is trying to figure out how to make an EPUB insert vignettes conditionally, depending on the way the reader's device presents the page. Oh, that is not something I have any experience with. Anybody in the comments tried this?
That's interesting. How successful were you, Justin?
Justin is trying to figure it out, not has figured it out.
Okay.
Jesse did not get much writing in, actually went to Amazon and looked at your books. And is definitely going to get and read the Adventures of Crackle and Bang, The Perils of Prague. It's a super fun steampunk romp.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy has earned dinner and fresh baked goods from the wife. Take care. Thank you for joining. He usually bails by like 6, so clearly he was either productive or dinner was running late.
Yeah.
So.
Or he was on a deadline and she was holding him to it.
There's that too. So yeah. I'm super excited. All of y'all joined us on Mother's Day. I don't know what your relationship with your mother is or with motherhood. I hope you had a good day, regardless of whether it's positive, neutral, or negative.
Okay.
I mean, I know it can be a hard day for people.
Yep.
So I definitely want to recognize the day and the situation.
Yep.
So, well, it is 6:32.
It is.
So I'm not on deadline, but I could do another sprint if you need to be more productive. But I also have an episode of Doctor Who waiting for me, so you know.
I think I'm good with calling it a wrap.
Okay, I just drag you into extra sprints on my behalf, so I didn't want to cut it short on your behalf.
Nah, that's okay.
Because I know somebody's got a deadline by the end of the month.
Yeah, I had to go move a motorcycle earlier today, and I think I overdid it just a tad.
Yeah.
So I guess I should.
Have you considered a tune-up and maybe trading out parts for like new ones?
Actually, I've
Get
got
enough
a
experience.
neighbor who's talked to me because they've got someone that's interested in buying the motorcycle,
Oh, nice.
and if they can offer me a decent price, I'm probably going to go with it. Um, and I
And
figured that the much as I like writing, I haven't been able to in quite a while, because of knee problems, other general health things, and it's like if I have time later in my life when I can go out and ride again, I am more likely to get one of the three-wheeled bikes where you pull up to a stop and it
it
just stays there.
sounded like you were saying right instead of ride.
I said ride, but uh because I plan to be writing for quite a long time.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So I was just like, wait, oh, wait. Now I figured where this was going.
I was say I've got at least 10 more books in my head that have to come out through my fingers.
Did I tell you I'm working on world building for my NaNo project this year?
No, you did not.
My suburban fantasy with the knitters that are hedge witches.
Okay, that sounds cool.
So it's I figured out the characters. I figured out the setting. I figured out the real life struggle. Now I have to figure out
Mhm.
exactly what type of paranormals or supernaturals are in the world. Because I don't want to fall back on the vampire werewolf thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot of potential supernaturals to choose from
Yeah,
to spice up your paranormal world. But
right. Yeah. So we will see. Popping to the comments, Emmy says they're drawing more beach pictures and just finished a tiny sandcastle one and thinks they know how the story is gonna start. Justin says, so far, no success trying to make any conditional alterations in EPUB, but they will figure it out. Already figured out how to use CSS for an interactive multi-choice story in EPUB. Ooh,
interesting.
if all else fails, you can always say, hey, if you intend to read on this device, get this version, which is less responsive, but people can opt for the version that works best for them if nothing else.
I don't know, but that still sounds like some cool stuff.
It really does. And Jacob swung by. Hello, Jacob, the red spy, red X. Blake says I should have brownies in my stories. Lots of suburban mom puns with brownies.
Brownies in space.
Ah,
I was going to say
maybe. So
once
I
once.
think Celtic mythology is leaned on a little too much as well. So
Mhm.
I might want to create my own. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, once I get finished publishing the Kindred of Kali and then the Rage of Ragnarok after that, the the book that I'm going to go to next is kind of a modern fantasy trilogy,
Okay.
and it uses the idea. It's like, okay, all that stuff that you know about from fantasy and legends, it's like that stuff's still out there, but the legends
Right.
are wrong. So
Right. Yeah. I've,
Mhm.
I've definitely read some books like that. And I want to make up my own,
Yep.
but I don't want it to be totally alien and unfamiliar. So, and I haven't decided if the enemy monsters, whatever, are physical or are like non-tactile spirity things.
Hmm.
But I'm tempted to make trees that are evil.
Hmm. My story, we've got a girl who basically trips and falls and finds herself under a hill, and
Yep. Always good.
ends up learning how to turn invisible from the pixies.
Okay.
Um, and she's just trying to find her way home, and it looks like her only way home is the dragon.
Ooh.
So
Yeah. I want a thing where if you see the creatures, you can see them by candlelight, but not electrical light.
Mm-hmm.
And they're remodeling her grandmother's old fallen down house, which is where she's living now. And during the remodeling process, they broke something that made it a house and took away the safeties that a home gives you.
Oops.
So that's the first book, figuring out how the world works. And I don't know how it works yet, but I've got till November to figure it out. So, Red Spy Red X, I am already subscribed to you, so thank you, Jacob. Though, Treevil, when the trees are evil, it's Treevil. Because I was listening to a panel from Discon about urban fantasy and how the setting should be a character in and of itself. And so I was thinking about how where I live, a generation ago, it used to be farmland and it's the suburbs now. And so what does that urbanization do to the spirits and things that were here before? And so what do the harvest spirits think of, the very sanitized suburban version of a harvest festival?
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So I think I'm going to have fun leaning into the rural versus suburban transitional process. So I don't know. It's going to have fun. Blake says, wait, you already had trees eating people in that hiking story. I sense unresolved trauma.
No. Well, if it happens again, it's retrieval.
I think it was just something that came to mind, but do thank you for having read it in the first place. I appreciate people who read my published works, and by published works, I mean all one of them, unless you're talking about my essay on 10 questions to ask your beta readers, which is actually in an anthology of, but I got no, it was for the Insecure Writer Support Group.
Okay.
And they had a nonfiction anthology come out a couple of years ago, and I got no money for it. And it's for free on Amazon. So, but you can find it on my works cited page, blah, 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 whatever. Or on Google. 10 questions asked your beta readers. I'm on the first page of results.
You didn't get paid for that, but did you give up the rights to it?
I did not.
So you can still sell that somewhere else.
I could. It's on my blog. It's my most viewed post ever by like a factor of 10 easily.
Yeah.
So
I think for the longest time, one of the most viewed posts on my blog was about the magic spreadsheet. And unfortunately, I'm having some problems with that blog, and I'm almost tempted to take the site down and rebuild it under a slightly different URL.
That is a thing that happens.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess I should wrap up, and I should at least do my outro.
Probably.
So, hey folks, I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. And you should be able to find my links down below in the comments. If that doesn't work for you, then you can search on Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that will take you to my webpage. It'll take you to my author page on Amazon, where you can see all the stuff that I've currently got published. And if you look at my webpage under Works in Progress, you'll see what I've got in the pipeline. Hopefully, you'll see when it comes out. So, I'm going to be at Balticon Memorial Day weekend this year. And if you're in the area, I hope to see you there.
Yeah, or you can join online because it's virtual as well this year. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Emmy loved our spirit talk, so thank you. thank you all for coming. I am Morgan Hazelwood. I blog writing tips and writerly musings. This week on the podcast was, but I'm not a YA writer, gender biases in the book world. How women writers very often get mispublished or miscatalogued on the bookshelves with the YA when they're writing adult, because that's a thing that happens. And also I was talking about my RavenCon weekend and how, yes, I'm a panelist, and sometimes one person shows up and sometimes 15 people show up because I'm not necessarily the biggest name draw yet. So thank you all for coming and have a great week. And I should be back again next week with hopefully some sprints and some snacks. So let's see. I'm going to start a raid over in Twitch.
Okay.
For probably myself. I don't know if anybody else is hanging out over there. But we're going to go pop over to the Lady Writes, who is doing a For the Words writing sprint. And yeah, have a great week, everybody else. Bye-bye.